There we go. So this is the fourth of the game sessions we have had. And we have moved through quite a bit of different paths of ideas and different like um, like trails of things that could happen. Um, and we are at the current time. Do you guys remember where we ended off?
We had followed the trail of these people who had murdered what appeared to be like a guard at this little cabin in the woods. Turns out they had taken another person with them and were going to like sacrifice them to this deity.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up killing everybody.
Yeah, people died.
Yes. But we did find out that there's some more bandits. Some at their hideout, at least one is guarding some horses.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what I remember at least.
Anything that you want to add, Redix?
I think we might have lucked out fighting this old man here with his blood tricks. Just a hunch.
Maybe a lucky thing, maybe not. So, last time too, you made a small discovery. You weren't really sure what it meant, but there were definitely 3 things that stood out. One to the left of the statue, now with like a little light on it, and one to the right of it, and as well as the main statue, of course, has some sort of significance. But with your observation at the time, you couldn't really see the connection. So you were off to go left or right or try to kind of gather more information from the middle statue. And I think we ended off with you picking like the left one, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. There were, I had spotted like secrets in, I don't know, the murals or something, statues.
The statues, yeah.
Yeah, both sides and maybe the middle thing as well. And I was gonna go left, right, middle.
You do start by going to the left statue, and underneath it, kind of like residing as a part of it, instead of being a plaque, it's actually like a tray that has been pushed in, like a tablet that you could push out or drag out, almost like a serving tray that has been neatly just pushed into the stone wall itself. And by looking further into it, you don't really see any sort of special devices that could resemble any sort of traps or anything. You're guessing that this place has been here for quite a while and haven't really been disturbed. The dig site that was outside, or kind of like moved rocks or whatever, showing the entrance to it. You reckon it probably didn't look like that previous like years or so. Someone has deliberately moved it so that the entrance would be shown again. And the thing on the left statue is probably something sitting sunken into the wall itself. If you want to kind of look or move, check it.
Yes, I think I'm gonna reach in and try and pull it out.
And you will see that it's a broken tablet, but still holding on to itself. So it's a tablet of a creed. And if you remember the Ashen Blade, being a assassin guild, probably one that few know about still to this day. A lot of guilds, a lot of these sort of societies or brotherhoods and so forth have been broken up due of time and rulers have changed hands and so forth. So you know of it due to your background, but probably no one else will. So you will see this thing. And for Vamp, it's a longer stone tablet, cracks visible through it, and on its overface, so to speak, on top of it, have been written several lines of code, a language that you do not seem to understand.
All right.
But Ebonheart seems to read it as with interest. Any communication between you two at this point?
Do you have any idea what it says? Do you recognize the language any?
I do, actually. Surprisingly, it's it's the creed of the I guess guidelines, manual, rules of conduct for the people who used to call this place home.
Any idea who they were?
They were kind of like me, do kind of like what I do, but they were a little more, maybe a little more zealous, a little more eccentric. Probably had some magic to them as well. I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting. You think there's any more tablets around here?
Oh, well, just going to point to the right. Well, there's something over by that one, and I'm assuming this middle piece here goes somewhere, maybe another room.
Hearing that, I guess I'll head to the one on the right, trusting that Ebonheart can get the middle one.
And being guided by that, the notion of something is hidden or something is there, it takes you a little bit longer than probably what you saw that Ebonheart did, like more directly find it, so to speak. You do see that in a similar fashion, but more obscured by the old sand and whatever have been kind of gathered up here, not just dust per se, but more sand. You do see that there is something that could be pushed out as well. And as you do, it's a similar thing, but instead of being a tablet, it's an inlay, and in it is a book. A old book that just seems to be fairly old but simple to its design. There's nothing that would be saying that this is rich of ancient magic or anything. As you look at it, there isn't anything drawing your arcana or your energy to say it has anything of it either. By just holding it, a simple book. Do you look through it, or do you give it to Ebonheart straight away?
I'd probably just go ahead and give that to him since he actually knew how to read the tablet and I had no idea. I'm just going to generally assume that this is probably the same language.
Mm-hmm. And for Ebonheart, you do get a book as well.
I'll take it. So, like, look over the front, the back, the spine.
Mm. There's nothing saying anything about its contents or who has made it or symbols or anything. It looks more like a thinner manual than a thick history book.
I'm gonna keep it closed, and I'm gonna hold it like close to my ear and shake it to see if it's like one of those Bibles that has all the pages carved out and there's like a gun or something in the middle.
There is
One of those
nothing
things.
rumbling around in it, or there's nothing falling out if you shake it around either. You're though surprised that it looks thicker than it is. It's more cover than actual, like several pages. You're assuming it might be like some pages, but not many.
Okay. Well, knowing a little bit of what the owners were like, I'm gonna hold it like facing away from me. I'm gonna open it like in the middle, like away from me, in case there's I don't know poison inside the page or something.
Darts
Yeah,
flying around.
yeah, something. Just in
Fully hide
case.
behind him just in case.
Open it facing your trusted companion to see if she dies.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it opens up. There's nothing flying out or cloud or anything. So feeling a little bit relieved knowing that it could have been more. Definitely.
Okay. Go to one of the ends of the book and look at what's either the first or the last page.
It ends with, "So be wary, for you never know when the Ashen Blade might be called upon, when the world plunges into turmoil, when the innocent cry out for aid, we shall be there." And it kind of continues on.
Okay. Go to the other end, assuming that's the beginning.
Yeah. It's a book that describes who the Ashen Blade is. And you kind of put it together as a sort of like, this is the part of legacy of who they are, to never be forgotten, and maybe have something that will be of a legacy. And you do recognize that the history book on its own is very little bit being the high horse of we are better than others sort of thing. It's always mentioned as we are, and we are this and that. If you write a history book, it's seldom out of that perspective that we are.
Yeah, this is like the I don't know, the frat house sort of VIP club.
Yeah.
All right. I have a stone tablet that's in pieces but readable. a book that is a sales pitch. Let's look in the middle, see if we can find something.
Roll a observation. Oh, nice. Hasn't it been updated on your end? Boop, 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 boop. So if I now roll. That's a success, of course. It should. Okay. Whatever. The new thing would say like partial success. You only fail if it's over 16 or 17 and up, because you can't go over 16. You do see that the structure, the statue in the middle, does have a mechanism to it. Not sure what it will do if you complete it, but you do understand the mechanism. So that's your sort of partial success.
Okay. Well, if I understand how it works, can I tell if it has been partially completed?
No. Or yes, you could, but it hasn't been used, moved.
Okay, so it's not like, you know, a history, you know, a moment frozen in time where a door has been unlocked and only just opened when there was an atomic blast and everything just froze.
Yeah. No. It definitely has been used, but it hasn't been used for like years. So every sort of thing where you have to turn a piece of it or push a piece or whatever, it's filled with just dust and sand. So you very easily understand that whomever was here didn't figure it out. They haven't started pressing anything really. But you don't know if it's something that will start the whole cave to have a cave in, or if it will set off poison or whatever it will do, or just open up another piece of the frat house, so to speak. But you do know the way to operate it.
Well,
Curiosity.
there's something here, maybe a hidden door or something. I don't exactly know what's gonna happen when I activate it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm probably gonna try. I don't know. Do you want to be in what I'm assuming is going to be a blast zone, or maybe I really don't know.
I am moving and crouching down behind this stone pillar.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yes, I appreciate the heads up. Oh, and
Oh yeah, I'm the only one who can make him walk around. Do you want him to be there too?
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'll actually move him in front of me so he can be my meat shield additionally as well. Thank you.
So I switch into into first person, and I play Mist, and I solve a puzzle with rolling balls and weights and pulleys and bells ringing.
Yeah, this is Uncharted, Lara Croft, the sort of thing where there is like a chain that you draw on or pull, and then you see a weight that has to be in this correct sort of level, and then you can release this thing, pushing that button in, and then you see a pattern, and you put this thing in there, and it's a whole mechanism. It's not just push a button. And you do understand that this has some higher level of craftsmanship behind it. It's not just something that just anyone can do. And after like the whole sequence of maneuvers, it has this thud of a click, and a passage just around behind it opens up into a corridor leading behind it.
Any light? Does it smell like, I don't know, a tomb?
The smell, difficult to say. It's just not been used. There is a very faint reddish glow somewhere in the back. It's not fire or torches, and it's pulsating.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Maybe we should let her new friend go first.
That's.
I mean, we're going in there.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, can I tell how far away the light is?
The problem is that it's a corridor, but then a fairly several steps leading down. So it's impossible to see what kind of room is up ahead. But it's kind of showing that it's something deeper in. What you could use this on before is to just see if it will set off any sort of traps.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Any dart traps and stuff like that.
Okay. Before it descends towards whatever the light is, how far away is it?
I'm guessing in feet, like 100 feet, like 30-ish meters.
It's a bit of a distance. I mean, maybe you send your friend, I don't know, to where right where the stairs leading down start. Maybe tell it to stop right there and wait and see what happens.
Sure. I guide my newfound friend to do so.
Yeah. And I'll help you move it a little bit. The zombie starts to walk slowly. It has like half a normal movement. And as it moves in, there is a couple of, on each side, torch things, more like just old branches that gets lit up. And for Beth, this is a very light magic, but it looks real. For at least Ebonheart, it looks like they are torch fire. But Beth, it's like a level 1 spell that could be imbued. And it goes the full length, and here and there with a little bit of a distance, several torches just lights up and keeps being lit as he's been passing them. And he stands by the stairs leading down.
I wonder if they're motion activated then, because I mean, he's not really living. Just out of curiosity, sorry.
Yeah. They don't stop after he moved. So all of them are now lit like a long corridor. Half long.
Do we see anything new since the new light has sprung up?
No, it is a very cut out of rock, really flat surfaces, both walls and ceiling, as well as like the flooring. There is no scribblings on the wall. There is nothing else but these sort of holders for the branches of torchlight.
Well, your friend didn't re-die, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I'll take like a few steps in, just get to like the first light.
Mm-hmm. And as you do, there is nothing that changes. There is no wind, meaning that it's probably a closed environment. And the only steps you see is from the zombie leading forward.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to where the stairs down start.
Mm-hmm. And the stairs leads down to a flat door. There is no handles, but there is a carved, like almost like a half bowl where the half of it stands out. There is a small scribblings in an arc above the bowl, and the bowl is sort of midway of the door to your waist or something. It's a full descent for like a normal human sort of thing. The steps would be, if there were no steps, it would be that height, like 2 meters. A person is like at the height of 6'3", 6'4", maybe. So there's several steps leading down, and at the end of it, a little bit of flooring and that flat door with this sort of bowl that sticks out of the wall, half bowl.
I'll just look back, shrug, like see if you say anything. If not, then I'll turn and continue down.
And where is Beth in all this? Is Beth with?
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Is Beth
I didn't
following
realize.
along, or?
Yes. She'll be following a couple feet behind.
Yeah. Seeing that Ebonheart is walking down the stairs to whatever this door is, you standing up there or following?
I'll follow. Yeah.
And for you, Ebonheart, the wordings over this sort of strange bowl, and at the end of it is a small hole that just goes into the door itself. And by further looking, there is a sharp metal needle sticking out. And the wording asks for the worthy guards of knowledge to sacrifice.
Would I be correct in assuming that the tiny hole with the point coming out of it is situated above the bowl?
It's in the bowl underneath. So if you press some sort of hand, if one would say, the blood will trickle down into the bowl and eventually find the hole and go into the door. If that makes sense.
Okay, I mean, okay, maybe. I mean, what I'm imagining is kind of a door, but more of a wall, and like waist height, there is coming out of the wall a quarter of a dome, so half a bowl with the so sort of a cupping upwards, and above this bowl is a hole, a circular hole with a metal piece, a sharp metal piece coming out of it. So if I were to say press my palm against this sharp needle, it would stab me and it would run into the bowl beneath.
Yeah, and the hole is in the bowl, so it will be sucked in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Question. The zombie's still pretty fresh, right?
I mean, define fresh, but sure.
I mean,
he's a
it's not like
zombie,
he's-
but he's not decomposed or anything. That's true.
So his blood should technically still be, enough to pass for human.
Maybe.
Shall we let our new friend try first? Or, I mean,
it's a good idea. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, so do I know if people who used to be here, do I know if they were human? Were they everything? Were they elves? Were they something older? Were they from somewhere else? Do I know if that's like a part of it?
You could, by the you could roll like a culture. It's not your forte, but it will be partial success all the way up to 16. So but it will be a true success if you roll under the low number you have.
Okay. Okay.
That actually worked then. Okay. I don't know what didn't work. The observation didn't work. Okay. You know that this was a society that had anyone could join. But with it is more a sort of nothing is a Queen's. Nothing here is an accident. There is more to what was happening prior. You get that sort of feeling, right? The bandits weren't here just by chance. The red-robed priest had a purpose, and these people probably had one too.
Spin around. Do you know if maybe the old man could you do this trick you can do? And I motion to your new friend. Do you think he could do that, or do you think he only worked with fresh stuff?
Well, I mean, it's not like we killed him that long ago, so I think it would be possible. I can try though.
No, I was wondering if you knew if he were capable of it.
Oh, if he was capable of raising them. Did I get that
Mm,
sense about him?
No, you were more getting this sense of
Like a cleric?
no blood magic.
Mm. I don't think that he was able to do this. No.
And I'm just guessing here, but blood magic and necromancy, they're not interchangeable.
Would they be linked? Like, in a way, Skyeth? I mean, because...
I mean, you could learn blood magic. Beth could learn it. Anyone could learn any magic school, but they
Would it,
are
like...
specific by themselves.
I just was curious, because, like, since I can do, like, flesh crafting, since that works with the body, would it mean that necromancers could learn, like, blood magic easier than other forms of magic?
Not easier, but maybe understand it easier or be able to kind of follow down that rabbit hole easier.
I totally forgot where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
Here's where I'm going with this. I'm thinking that the old man, he was, I think, specifically his skill set was required because it uses things who are still alive to, I guess, power the magic using fresh blood. So I don't think we should chance using your friend's, I don't know, goop for this. I just have a hunch it might not go very well.
All right. Well, since this seems to be, this is obviously, I'm guessing, intended for somebody to stick their hand above the bowl. That probably would not be a good idea for you, because, you use your hands to fight more than I do. Do you want me to stab myself with it?
No. I think I need to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I'll place my palm over the little hole and just wait.
You see the needle will imagine having the door in front of you. Underneath, kind of like waist, is this sort of almost, you could see it in a sprinkling water sort of thing in houses where there is something shooting out water and it's getting collected, you know. So there's this half bowl waist high, and above it is like, you see that there is a needle. If I put my hand on it, I feel it being picked a little bit. It's sticking out, but slightly. So if you put your hand on it, it will hopefully just prick you enough for your hand to dribble down the blood. And you don't know if you could basically slit a little bit of blood from your hand and dribble it down, if it will count, or if it needs to be through the needle itself. But you put your hand against the needle, I assume.
Yep.
And it will do a full pierce through the hand and just extract back. So on your, I'm guessing right hand?
No, left.
Left. You take 1 damage. Left arm. And there is a streak of blood running into the bowl from the wall, kind of like coming down. And there is no movement or change. And the needle just goes back.
I'm gonna like put the now bleeding palm with I'm gonna put resting it right at the wrist, just over the bowl. Just let it go for a while.
Yeah. And you let your blood be a part of this sort of sacrifice, and you can't but wonder why it mentions the sacrifice of the guardians of the history. Apparently you are not a guardian of history.
Is there anything else around the door? Or is it just this?
Yeah, it's only this.
I am going to pull out the tablets.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to put it on the side of the bowl. And we're just going to begin reading all 5 in turn. Out loud.
All the parts of the tablet. Or the book.
The tablet.
The tablet. And as you do, the unconscious part, you do get a sort of acknowledgement, a small part that some of these groups, maybe even you had people being the guardians of these tombs, protectors of knowledge as this. And looking back at it as you're reading the tablet, the person they sacrificed, they did it wrong of some reason. If you remember it from the last episode, the red-robed priest said that he did the sacrifice of the person, but nothing is happening and he's just waiting for answers. So that person must be bloodlined down to the protectors, either a protector or a bloodline of a protector, and they needed the red-robed priest to sniff out the blood of the correct one. So the person they sacrificed is probably the puzzle key.
So my
Oh,
zombie.
well, no, isn't the other guy?
Well, no, because remember he sacrificed the zombie first and thought it wasn't enough blood, so that's when he went for the bandit.
No, he sacrificed the second person of the guards. He never did a zombie. You did a zombie.
Yeah, but I'm saying the person the zombie was previously.
It was one of
Right?
the bandits.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So it's the blood puddle dude over here, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because you had the zombie coming in, looking at the bandit warrior, and you had like this spiel about looking at your friend, whatever. You remember that one? The bandit warrior saw his friend, the zombie. I think the zombie is from the outside, even.
Yeah, he is now that I think on it, because I managed to get one of the two.
Yeah.
I guess I will get my zombie to go out into the main room of the temple and carry the guy's body in here.
Mm-hmm. Ebonheart, is that what you want to do too?
Yes. I'm just gonna hang around here though.
Yeah, the zombie kind of nonchalantly goes back and grabs it. I put a for the zombies that it's your school value in necromancy in days. He will be here. If you want to prolong it, you just do another spell on him. Like,
yeah,
you do the raise dead again, and you prolong the days. But for now, I don't know how high is your school level in necromancy.
In necromancy itself, it's 5.
So it's 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So he will start to walk out, and they are not like super dumb, but they have like a very low intelligence. They're zombies after all. So he will go and grab the body. There are several bodies there, but you will give a very brief sort of, this is the one I want. But intricate commands doesn't really compute. So the zombie, after a while, comes back with the corpse, kind of carrying it. And moving into it, just stands there holding it.
I hug him to come over in front of the door. I kind of pull. I'm assuming he's got him in like a princess carry.
Yeah,
is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I pull the body like slightly out of his arms, tip its neck back, and like slice the throat. And see if I can get some of the blood to pour into the bowl.
Yeah. Ebonheart, is there anything you want to change on that one?
Oh, yeah, actually, never mind. I don't want to slit the throat. Oops.
I think I'm going to just point out that there's a little stabby hole, I think, specifically because that's how you're supposed to do it. So you could just like, push his hand, or I don't know, maybe you could push his face against it.
Yeah, I got too excited. I take the guy's hand instead and place it over the hole.
Yeah. The needle goes out and it stays there much longer than it did for Ebonheart, and with it, the blood starts to pour, not as good as it should, but the corpse or the dead guy here is definitely fresh in its sense. It's not too old. And as the blood has been starting to cover the wall and dribble down to the bowl, a moment goes by when this is happening and you're kind of looking at each other. There's a clink sound, a sort of extract of the needle, and a set of mechanical gears starts to wind up. And this is where the door is slowly starting to go up. And why is not that one in there though? Oh, if I go and do this. Yeah, whatever. So it opens up. Hopefully it will slowly load up for you guys.
Thinking about it for me.
Redix, you're in.
Yes.
Still thinking for me.
It usually gives me a little ping that you are in that map.
That's cool. There
No,
we
you
go.
should be.
Ooh, that's wicked.
And as you get into this room, etched into the floor itself is the pattern of a snake. Several, almost like braziers, start to illuminate up. It looks real. Beth knows that it's some sort of lighter magic that kind of gives this sort of scent of being a true fire. The statue being probably at the height of two people in height, has these red glowing eyes in its socket. Looks to be some sort of ruby-esque gem of sort that just slowly pulsates. And there is nothing like on the walls that is in the sense of a bookcase or workshop or anything. This is a place where you go and either meditate, start to get a closeness to the order itself. And you, Ebonheart, knows that there is ways to transcend here into a alternate state, sort of meditation. This is popular throughout the whole elven community in general, and you see that they have picked up aspects of it. And there are ways to start the process, so to speak. And that's what you know about this place, a sort of meditative area. And you could sit and sort of meditate in general, but there is also ways to attune yourself and get a transcending experience while here. It will involve like a smoke of essence being poured in, like almost a incense of smokes that you could start up in order to get this sort of transcended state.
I am gonna look around the room and look for something to burn, something that would fit.
You do get the understanding that the left side that has a sort of almost like a tablet of stone. Starting the process there will start to fill the room with this smoke. And the other one will be the outlet. When everything is done, it will start to suck out the smoke and clear the room. So it's a sort of inviting the experience, and then when in a sort of timed maneuver, it will start to flush the room.
Say, have you ever been inside your own head? Or had a bird's eye view of your own soul?
I mean, I kind of astral project a lot, but I've never actually been inside my own head. No, I guess not.
Would you like to?
It's a little frightening, but okay.
Well, it's gonna be kind of like what you're used to. Maybe a little more of a spiritual experience, but more or less the same, I suppose. We're gonna click this, then we're gonna get real comfy, probably in the middle somewhere, and we're gonna go for a little trip.
I guess I want to get the zombie in here too with the dead guy in case we need them to get us out.
Oh yeah, there might be more blood stuff.
Outside.
Would there be anything here indicating that that there's going to be more sacrifices needed?
No, there is no more sacrifices needed. Let's see if we can't get the...
Going up the snake, do I see anything unusual about it other than the glowing ruby eyes?
There we have the zombie. No, the whole statue is made out of a metal, a very dark metal. here and there through its scales and its sort of indent rivet are inlays of a very silver-esque metal as well. It's a grand piece for sure.
I'm going to run my fingers over the scales.
You do sense that being so close and feeling its cold metal, that it does have a presence of a intelligence, a magic intelligence. But you're not sure if it's like very dormant or if it's the one that is observing you at the moment.
I take my hand away and so I'll just say that it's magnificent looking and scurry away for now before I inevitably piss it off in some way. Oh, quick question. Do we see like any offerings or stuff that was on the stairs and stuff around it? Or is it literally just a blank, like a empty platform other than the snake?
Empty platform, yeah. And Ebonheart sees that Beth kind of walks away from it, being a little bit taken by the presence or something within it.
Oh, you don't like snakes?
Oh, I have nothing against them. They're quite beautiful. And like her eyes flicker over to it really quick to see if it reacts. I just couldn't help but remark on its beautiful craftsmanship. And then like she whispers, "Don't make it angry."
I am really curious to see how a walking corpse is gonna fare through this. That's gonna be maybe the most interesting part of this experiment.
Quite curious about that as well, truthfully.
Oh well, I will start the process, and I will have a nice, comfy seat.
You sit down, and the door behind you closes. And from the openings, very small ones, part of like the design of the rounded stone tablet that sits into the wall, it starts to seep out this very dark smoke that starts to fill the room. Um, and you definitely feel straight up very groggy. And Beth or Ebonheart, do you want to try to not be a part of it? Otherwise, it's like a con save. If you do not want to stand against it, there is no save, then you just agree to it and you will drift away.
I'll just drift away, but I'll tell the zombie to protect us and hope that enough of a direction for it.
Mm-hmm. And for the two of you, you succumb to this sort of just very flowy drift. And very quickly, it's a part of a fog. and you're walking, trying to just see straight, and there is nothing around. There is no forest, there is no buildings, there is no nothing. And as you're standing there, maybe you start to walk in one direction, nothing happens really. There is just a floor that goes up to your part of your leg that is filled with smoke. And after a short, brief moment, the two of you are seen, very translucent, like almost like a shape of a ghost, but you definitely see yourselves. And then several other shapes start to appear in like a close proximity. People that are wearing different clothes. There's nothing saying that this one is like all are cultists with robes, you know. All of them are different ones, like shirts or jackets or robes even. And all of them are just standing quietly, still looking straight ahead. Is it anything you want to do, or anything that you want to say to each other, or what do you want to do?
Well, I'm just wondering if is it going to be any difference for the two of us? I mean, I don't know, because I am an elf and I do meditate. I don't know if this going to matter at all.
No, doesn't matter.
Okay, just wondering.
And I guess spirit walking has no difference either then?
You haven't tried to use magic here.
Yeah, I just was curious if the fact that she has like spirit walk before, if there's anything similar about it.
I would give you this though, that you do recognize this sort of trance, that if you are being put through several components, several things, smoke, special smoke being one of them, but you're guessing that the presence of this entity, this sort of intelligence, will then transcend your mind, your sort of self bit, almost like a spirit walk, and combine all that is doing it at the same time. So what you're seeing is throughout everywhere, people are doing the same thing as you are doing. And it's sort of we could get a Zoom call, if you will, very easily without moving anywhere. You could see approximately 20-ish people standing still waiting for something.
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to go over to Ebonheart and try and poke him and see if our forms are physical, like if we actually have a presence here or if we're all just smoke.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. There is nothing, you just pass through.
That. Pokes him again.
Okay, there's nothing to poke. I'm not actually here, okay?
I'm just curious if for some reason we get into a fight, like we usually do, exactly how we could defend ourselves.
I mean, you know what they say, if you die in your dream, you die in real life.
We should come here now.
Hence, if you never died, you can never dream of dying. Because your brain doesn't know what dying is. How about you? Well, that went over a little bit. I'm gonna get like close to one of the shapes
Mhm.
and like lean forwards and try and see if I can like I don't know, get my head close to theirs. See if I don't know, maybe if I can hear thoughts or something.
Right. As you approach, you definitely sense that you can't go so far. It's almost as if you're allowed a small little island, and as soon as you get too far out, it's pushing you back, almost like a a fan is blowing the wind back. So you feel that you're pushed back into your own little secluded island. And by it, the small detail that you took out of it was that the person standing next to you didn't acknowledge your action, so to speak, making it out to be you're guessing that they don't see you per se. They probably see you in the same manner as everyone else, just these statues of resemblance of people. You're not sure if you're actually seeing them as them or just a sort of made up shape or idea of who they are. But none is interacting with each other. They're just waiting.
Are they all like looking in the same direction,
Oh, yeah.
or
Straight
I'm
ahead,
guessing
so to speak, a little bit high up forward.
the snake god, of course? Is there anybody like behind us, or are they all just leading up towards the snake?
There are people behind you as well. You're amongst people, but not many, like 20 or so. But it looks like you're probably the only ones that are so close to each other, meaning that the others are alone in their own sort of transcendence.
I was to walk towards the back of the room, find the last person if I even can. Do they look like differently clothed? Like, do I get the impression that maybe they're from a different time than us? If that makes sense.
You can roll for either observation or culture.
Would there be an easy or hard on that, or is it just normal?
Just a normal. Oh, look at that. So with it, you can very easily determine that these are people from this time. They don't have like really old clothes or really strange like future clothes, whatever. Um, but the thing that kind of stands out really weird, but it took a while, is that um, there are just a very general like part of them. When you look at Ebonheart, it looks like he is missing some of the attributes, some of the like the sword or the satchel or stuff like that, like very finer details. So what you see is probably just a representation rather than a true identity. And you never see their faces really. It's more like a haze, like almost like a blur. and the only one that you really see a face of is Ebonheart. Anyone else is just
Very
obscured.
good. So then the question is it because of our close proximity? Or is it because I actually know him?
Hmm.
Interesting. Looking at myself, I'm assuming I also don't have any of my items.
Yeah,
It's
it's kind of like just the simplest of clothes that you wear. Like if you wear like a shirt or like a blouse, and then you have a vest, and then you have a maybe just one or two of the items, like very simply drawn, like someone is describing you
I
very
see.
easily, and you're kind of probably guessing that whatever entity that is transmitting or sending you is giving a very brief description of you.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to do?
I guess can I look over here, see if this has changed any, or is it still just like how I remembered it?
The what now? The place.
Yes. Yeah,
You're just standing in a haze of smoke.
okay.
Kind of,
Okay. Sorry.
yeah, kind of like
Misunderstood.
in on top of the clouds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I missed that.
No worries. So, Ebonheart, is there something you want to try or do?
Well, all these other people are standing perfectly still. Like, are they like a person standing still, or are they ghostly statues?
There are people. Some of them are like shifting their stand. Some of them are like trying to really look forward, but definitely like move their heads a little bit, tilt it. Um, some of them are looking like they are um, sitting on something. Some of them are in a kneeled position. So not all of them are standing, to be honest. No, but yeah, there are people.
Do any of them look like they're saying something?
No, no.
So I guess that means no mantras or anything.
I'm gonna look over as many of these as possible from because we can't really move, so we can't like get to all of them close
Right.
enough. But all of the closest ones, just gonna see if there's any one common thing besides them all being here and not really saying or doing anything. If they're wearing any one specific thing, if they are holding their hands in a specific way, if there's one unifying thing about all these people.
Right. Yeah. Make a observation with a easy roll. It should be partial success. Are you rolling from your token or your character sheet?
Shit.
Okay. There are things that are probably something that resembles or are similar across the board. And just before the thing that happens, you do recognize that a plethora of them, most all of them, are wearing a ring on their middle finger on the left hand. And due to it, it's difficult to say, but yeah, you do recognize that there is a sort of simple ring, but it has features that you might recognize if you see it again. But as you're looking, and Beth is kind of following along, like just trying to get as much information as possible. A voice kind of beckons, and if you've seen the sort of great worm of any sort of old tale, where the worm is probably the size of a house or bigger, God of War big, and it's a part of the surrounding, kind of like shifting through, moving. And for Beth, this is probably as close as an understanding closest you have been to a what could be a half deity or something that has that sort of power. And the voice kind of booms and moves around, and difficult to say, but it feels and sounds best if you look in the direction that everyone else is. And it starts with brothers and sisters of the Ashen Blade. Heed my words. We stand at the time of change, a pivotal moment in our history. The time of the serpent is upon us, and the winds of destiny blows fiercely. It is in this time of upheaval that our skills and purpose will be tested like never before. We are a society that has lingered in the shadows, operating in the realm of whispers and secrets. But now the world trembles, and the old order falters. Chaos looms, and in the chaos lies opportunity. The empires crumble, the noble houses fracture, and power shifts like the sands in an ever changing desert. It is written, this maelstrom, that the Ashen Blade shall rise. Our blade, honed in darkness, shall cut through the veils of uncertainty. We shall be the silent architects of this shifting landscape, forging allies and severing bonds as needed. The great and the corrupt shall feel the cold touch of our steel, and the weak shall be consumed by the tempest they themselves have unleashed. This is not the time for hesitation or second thoughts. We are the unseen agents of destiny, the instruments of change. Our purpose is not noble or righteous. It's the pursuit of power and preservation of our way of life. As the world crumbles, we must seize this moment and carve our place in the annals of history. In the coming days, our targets will be those who cling to the fading vestiges of authority, those who stand as obstacles to progress and chaos. We shall dismantle the oppressive structures and pave the way for the new powers to rise. But remember, our actions must be swift and precise, for the serpent is cunning and strikes with venomous intent. Embrace the shifting tides, my brethren, for we are the harbingers of change. The ashen blade shall be whispered in the darkest corners of the realm, our presence woven into the fabric of myth and fear. Let the world tremble as we dance upon the strings of fate, for we are the orchestrators of the symphony of chaos. And that's where everything kind of like shifts again, and there is a definite movement, and you both recognize that the room is being like lifted of air, and you're back where you were, and um, a cold room for once, but you're standing where you are.
So that was a thing.
Certainly was. Um, Looking around the room, has anything changed, or is it like still exactly the same?
At this point, you do see that the part where the snake is kind of resting, there is now a more prominent, similar thing that were kind of holding these tablets and books before.
Um, my zombie is still under my control, still doing okay.
Mm-hmm. It's like
And
standing there, um, yes, unfazed.
And has the door at the end of the room remained shut?
The door is now opened.
Excellent.
I'm gonna stand up and approach. Just look at it.
Look at which
Guessing.
part?
I guess looking at the eyes, seeing if I can tell, what's giving off the pulsing lights.
For you, it doesn't say much. You haven't really been using magic in that way, but there's definitely something airy about the presence of something in it. There's not just you two and the zombie in here.
Um, Kind of making a face, I reach out and touch the snake statue again, see if I get any different impressions than from before.
Definitely a little bit more of a presence of something. This time, maybe not as distant, but it's moving away, almost as if it were present, watching you as you were away. Now, maybe delivered or said its piece to you, going back to sleep.
Interesting. I'll relay that feeling, of course.
I couldn't help but notice that I can't be quite sure, but I think everyone was wearing a plain-looking ring on their middle finger, left hand. All it had was some kind of inscriptions on it. So there was a theme about everyone who was quote unquote present.
Um, since I never told my zombie to stop carrying the body, I'm guessing he still has it.
Yeah, standing still there.
Cool. I'll get him to come up to me, and I want to inspect the corpse's hands, see if he's got a ring or if there's an impression of a ring that maybe the bandits took from him or something.
No.
Maybe the priest outside would have one?
Didn't you run his pockets after he was dead, though?
True.
So we would have. Well, yes, you would have found a ring if you had one.
True. Yeah, I didn't find one. He had a nice ruby, though. Aside from the two stands for the tablet and the book, is there anything else different around the snake?
The snake does have a impression of something that has now extruded lightly, similar to what the tablet and the old book had in the previous room, kind of underneath its sitting place.
Yeah. Is there anything else, though? Or is
No.
it just the two of those? Want to leave those here, or are we taking them?
Well, I guess we could try.
I mean, I don't particularly care, but just was curious.
Why not? Is it obvious which one goes in which place?
It is. Like a left and a right one. Can only be fitted.
Okay, well, then I will go and pop in whatever goes on the left one, and I'll hand the other one over.
Slide, I'm guessing, the book into the right one, since that's the side we got it from outside?
So you place it roughly the same.
Yes.
And you push in the two almost like drawers, and the middle one kind of comes out as you pushed both of them in.
Okay.
Inside, but I don't touch anything.
What appears from the middle one?
Inside it is a rolled up map.
Is it sealed?
Nah, no, it has just a wrapping around it. So it basically has like a string kind of holding it together.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, you have the map in your hand.
Where do you think it leads to? Another temple?
Well, I guess we'll find out, and I'll undo the string.
And you see a island.
Yeah, I'll flip it around, show it. Anything you know?
Any of you have been traveling a lot or like coastal?
Where I come from, a noble family, wouldn't I have studied like
Could.
geography?
Yeah, you could. In that case, we could say that Beth recognized the sort of vaguely Isle of Sorrow. There are plentiful of smaller islands to the northern coastal line that is like way off, and all of them are just called like the Reef of Sorrow or Isles of Sorrow, and mostly due to the fact that if you go there by boat, you're probably just going to scratch it up and just break it because it's so shallow at places, and there are a lot of reefs. You have to really know where to navigate in order to get there. So people never get there due to it's so difficult to navigate. But you have like a rough understanding of where it could be, you know?
Yeah. I relay that information over. Like, do I know how far away it would be from where we are? I mean, I'm assuming it would be quite a distance.
For sure. I mean, it's probably a couple of weeks to get to the coastal, and from there, boats go fairly quick on water. You get a pretty good distance while on a boat. But with that being said, several days on a boat would probably take you there if you get anyone who agrees to go there. That is.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I'll again relay that.
Mhm.
I wonder what the little skull on there is for. Do you think that would be destination, or would it be one of the ones with the dots leading? Well, the path leading towards them. Never mind. Either way, an interesting find.
I am going to just look at where I placed the tablet. Does it seem to be stuck where it is?
Yeah. Now it's been secured. However, I mean, if you want to pry it up or in any way kind of make your way, yeah, like prying it open. I mean, with tools for sure. Nothing is impossible.
Well, it was obviously a trade for the map.
Yeah.
And there is something inside the statue that might be a little upset.
Could be.
I will leave it up to you.
I wonder.
We could always try and trace the map and then just put the map back in there and see if that'll release them.
Well, I mean, we don't really have a timetable, so yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's not like it's that detailed of a map.
yeah. If you want to trace the map on paper, yeah.
Yeah, can I take out the book that we stole from the jester and try and sketch it out really quick?
Yeah. I mean, it's very detailed. It will take you hours to copy. No. I mean, it's a simple map.
Yeah, I'll try and do that really quick.
I would say it's just a rounded shape, sort of, and the names of the two places.
Yeah. As soon as I finish that, then take a glance at Ebonheart to make sure he's ready, and then I will set the map back in its.
And you will push it back, so to speak.
Yeah.
And nothing changes.
It was worth a thought.
Mhm.
Can I open it back up? Or is it just sealed now?
It looks like it's sealed.
Okay.
Same sort of notion that if you want to try to pry it open, it's probably doable.
No, just was curious.
So this is the crow's reason. I don't know if you are trying to bait me into breaking this stuff. I don't know what kind of game you're playing here. That's the thing.
I know you all too well. There is a small itch. But from here, you were on your way to Stormfield next.
Yes. After we kill the guy with the horses, if we can find him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
No, okay. A one, I am going to attempt to pry loose the book and tablet. On a two, I will not.
So it's only 50-50. Okay.
Yep, it's a coin.
Totally break it. Do it. You know you want to.
Okay, we're leaving.
But
Yeah, you flip the soul coin, and the soul coin said, "Leave it."
you're seriously not gonna try? Not at all? Not curious?
Gonna gesture at the statue. If you want to,
Oh God, no,
by all
I'm
means.
not doing that.
Right.
I just was curious. I'm trying to egg you on. I'm not doing it. I'm not pissing him off. She pats the giant snake statue and says, "Nice meeting you," and then scurries back over to her zombie
Right.
to start heading out the door.
So leaving it in the.
Oh man, we should have changed the map so if anybody else got it,
Correct.
it'd be wrong.
But it doesn't matter. They can't open it anyways. So
Good point. I hadn't thought about that actually.
unless we're real, if we try and pry it, it's gonna be some poison gas or something, or it's gonna cave in, or it'll flood, will catch fire. So
Probably, but it still would have been funny.
But that's the way to get the
Right,
ring. Mhm.
Brief moments. Ring? What ring? Oh, that ring. Yes, I remember now.
But you leave the temple, I'm assuming. Anything you want to do in this chamber?
See the chamber? Oh, okay. Uh, should we clean up in here any? Like toss the bodies down the shaft? Does it even close up behind us, or is it all still open?
There are doors, but I mean, yeah.
I don't think anyone's really gonna come back here, so I don't think it really matters. I mean, just to be thorough, I'm just gonna go over the old man and see if he has a plain looking ring.
And what will Beth do?
I I'll get out of his way first. And kind of try and keep an eye on the door because I know that they said that there was at least one more bandit who was watching over the horses, and since he hasn't heard from the others, who knows if he might get curious. So
Right, yeah. And as Ebonheart, you start to rummage through the priest, the center statue starts to shift, closing again. And realizing there is probably no way to get back in now. The message has been delivered. You make a easy observation. All right, partial. There isn't any sort of ring that you're looking for here. Looking over the body itself and the sort of pockets and stuff. Now, though, you know what you're looking for. Maybe the house does have one. You remember that you left the sort of house in search of whomever killed the two that lived there or were stationed there. And then you stumble upon this place. So the place were looked over by both of you in different turns, but you didn't know what to look for. So it might be there.
I mean, it is the only way that we know goes to like a road.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go past it anyways.
Yeah. I agree. I say we go up, try to get the extra horses, kill off the last bandit dude, and then head back to the cabin.
And as you leave, the double door stands as like just empty part. And when you're going out to the exterior, this is the sort of smart little genius part where looking on the exterior of this temple like rock formation, you're seeing that it belongs not to a snake god or anything, more to another prominent belief and ideology, which is the sort of belief of almost like a Christianity, sort of there is a God that created everything.
So monotheistic.
Yeah, and they just took parts of it and hid behind everything, making it so that even if you find the temple, it's not really showing you the full content of what's behind it. So it's a nice little realization of how sneaky they are. And when you get out here, which one was it that you did take? Was it the left one? As a zombie?
I believe so.
Yeah. And you left the right one.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get him.
Yeah. Getting out, you see that there are but bones and parts of the body itself. It's been picked very greatly by any sort of birds or predators out here.
God, how long were we in there?
I'm gonna look up and guesstimate how much time has passed.
Between you two, Beth kind of looking at the corpse or the part of, and Ebonheart looking up to the sky. At least a couple of days.
Well,
But at the same time, he is still up, the zombie, and that's 5 days. Which makes it easy to say you've been out 4 days because it's kind of tied to your own magic. So you've been out 4 days.
But we know we went in just when it got dark. So I mean, we know it has been at least 1 day and a maximum of 4.
A maximum of 5.
Well, the zombie isn't gone yet, so maximum of 4.
Yeah. But you could, if he were gone, you would have said that it's 5 or more. So yeah, it's true. And being so that the magic is tied to Beth. She knows the creation she's done. She knows it's 4 days.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you.
yeah.
Oh, so that you have a little internal clock that goes ding ding ding.
Yeah, I mean, you basically you've conjured a thing, and you know when it's going out. It's kind of self obvious.
Got a little kitchen timer in my head. All right. Well, question is did the other guy come down here and check and run off? Or if he's still up there. Do we see any tracks?
And no, there's no tracks. Within a day, the winds will have erased the tracks. At least to the point where you need a good tracker. But you know where he was hiding, waiting, nonetheless.
Yes. Yeah, the bandit that we killed in the inside told us he was on the hill.
Yeah, with the other horses.
Yes. 3, I believe he said. I think we should probably check for them, just because if I remember correctly, we left our horse in the cabin. Probably not very happy.
Yeah, I feel that's. I did make a point not to wrap the lead 50 wraps around the tree. It was just if it needed to, it could have torn off easy. So it's at least not going to come back to a half a horse.
That's at least.
It's a thought. So where do you go from here?
Well, I mean, he told you where to go. So I'll follow your lead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go up and goodness. We'll go up and I believe he said it was around that hill.
Yeah, you can. When you drag, you can press space and you make a node. So you can kind of like
Thank you.
map it out. And for the sake of it, Evan, how do you just follow along? I'm presuming.
Yes.
And getting to the top, and you definitely see where they had their camp. There is a makeshift hide, like half tent, just the roof of it. And underneath it is a horse that is low on they had a sort of basin of water. And it's none left almost, and some grass-ish food for it. And by now it's all gone, and it is in a bad state, not dreadful state, but you know. And on the saddle is just a note that I left. See you guys in the camp.
Well, free horse is a free horse. I guess I'll go over and check through the saddle really quick, see if there's any saddlebags, and if so, what's in them.
There are food rations, and you also see that they have a small pouch of coins.
Any
Yeah.
idea how many? Sorry.
That one is shown, right?
Let
That
me see.
roll.
Oh, 16 silver. Thank you. I had my Word document right
Yeah,
over it.
yeah. So a couple of coins just ends mean.
So rations, 16 silver, and was there anything else?
Yeah, ration for say 5 days worth. There is nothing really else besides clothes, like extra belts and stuff.
There a bedroll?
50-50. Low yes. No.
Shit. Looking inside the little tent that's left over, is there a bedroll in there?
No, it's more for the horse not to get like too much
Ah.
sun on it.
Okay, never
So
mind. then.
being nice to the horse.
Okey-doke. Well, I guess I'll untie the horse, and since it's such a bad state, I guess just lead it behind us.
Mm.
And then we wanted to head back to the cabin, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna look like from where this horse has been tied up. This will make some camp. If we can still see tracks from where the last man went with the rest of the horses.
Yeah, and as I recall, the bandit kind of made a small descriptive idea of where they're having their place.
Yes. Another
Uh,
cabin in the woods.
Yeah,
Well,
a small
camp
camp.
in the woods.
Yeah, and
I thought he said how many there was too.
yeah, he said about the number, right?
Yes.
Did you write it down? In that case, you don't remember. I mean, you could look up the VOD, I guess.
I want to say it was like 15, but
Oh, great! Then I
I know.
had a couple
Well,
of
I
more.
know he had said that they were split. That there was one group that had gone off to do some other mission. There was a couple at the camp, and then there was them who had left. So the whole 15 wasn't at the camp at the time.
Now, though, time has shifted.
Yeah. I regret saying anything.
Yeah, but literally,
I think I need to go back and watch last week's episode so I can tell you accurately.
no, what I mean is that 4 days has passed.
I know. That's why I'm saying maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was a lot less than 15 total. I think it was. I think it was maybe 10, including these guys.
Yeah, who knows? And you're going back to the cabin, or do you want to follow up on that trail?
I mean, is there one to follow?
You know roughly where it is, so it's not going to be too difficult to get to the camp. They were just hired mercenaries for this mission to kind of help the red-robed bad guy. Or good guy, depending on how you see it.
How far away do we know?
About a day.
Ooh.
We could do it.
How far away was the cabin? Like a few hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cabin was just a few hours.
Well, if we know where the camp is, then we can just get to the cabin first, toss the place, and then go to the camp.
Should we maybe bring the body of the bandit leader? I can try and revive him, and then we might could use him as a lure to draw out some of the other bandits from their camp so we don't have to face them all one by one. I mean, yeah, as a group.
What kind of state is the bandit leader in?
I mean, 4 days later, 4 days. I'm no forensic, but I would say it's probably a little bit of wear and tear in this warm climate.
I'm more concerned if all the parts are still there.
He was inside, so
he should be in a little bit
yeah,
better, more wholesome state.
I mean, if seen afar, sure, but up close, not so much.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It's just if we could get him, in the bushes and just make a gesturing motion with his hand, maybe he can draw some of them out into the bushes and us kill them, that way. Or you kill them that way. Just a thought.
No. That's a card that we could play. So yeah, let's do it.
Cool. And if I have to, I can try and use Fleshcraft on him as well to try and give him a little bit more life. And we can just throw his body over the horse.
And you could do it by night, and it will be more difficult to see it.
Excellent. Yes, that's brilliant. Are you supposed to be helping us? I don't think you are.
I mean,
you were supposed to make things difficult for us.
It's gonna be difficult. I mean. So what is the intent then? What do you want to go from here?
I'm going to go grab Bandit Leader's body, throw it over the back of the horse, and we're walking back to the cabin. Zombie boy, of course, following behind.
Right. So the group of you two with a seen better days horse travel back to the cabin. It's 4 or 5 hours away, and being fairly like late as you're moving, you're guessing that the about 4 days that were kind of transpired was a ratio 1-to-1, so it's still night time at the 4th day. Going through the night back to the cabin, it's getting a little bit of a toll, and you haven't really had a good night's sleep in a couple of days, it feels like. Getting back to the cabin, though, the question is, do Beth, do you want to use revive or make the zombie of the leader instead?
I want to try and make a zombie of the leader.
Yeah. You can only have one of the zombies up at this point, so you can roll for that one.
Can I use one of my points to amplify it and give me a better chance of getting him?
It's actually going to make it harder to do, but the amplification will increase things instead.
Sorry. I thought it would amplify my power and thus make me able to trace them easier. But okay, yeah, never mind that.
The thing is that you could use your spirit points, and you could make it into a ritual, which will be a 1d4 hours instead. But by the end of it, the thing will be done.
The ritual will be done, and he is a zombie,
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
okay. And he'll still be there for days rather than hours, right?
Yeah, it will be there for school in days, which were 5.
Okay. All right, just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I guess when we get to the cabin, I'll do the ritual.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Okay. Okay.
So, anything that Evanhart you want to do meanwhile? You will probably rip out the whole cabin.
No, I mean, I think that works very nicely. She spends how many hours just doing the magic, and I will toss the entire place. I will, floorboards. I'm gonna go in the rafters, under the bed, all of it.
Yeah. And by the later portion of your deconstruction of cabin, you definitely see that embedded in part of the wood is like a hidden compartment, and there is a ring, and you're almost 100% sure this is the same that they were. The thing was that it was foggily hazy, but you're 99. You're as close as it could be. Yeah. And looking at the inscription, it is worded as a sort of creed idea, so it definitely has something to do with it. Anything else you want to do?
No, I think being that sure about it, I'm just gonna put it on.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing specific, and it's actually the same size as your middle finger on your left hand, and doesn't puncture it or poison you with anything. So it's good to go. And for the sake of it, while Vamp is out, the thing you want to study or do as a downtime?
Yeah. I think I'm going to work on my observation. I think.
Yeah. So just write it in, or if you have it, you can roll on it. Yeah. Slowly but steady. And anything else that you want to do going over to the next day? Anything you want to prepare or so?
No, nothing I can really think of.
I'm trying to. Trying to wait out for Vamp, I guess. But you could. Well, that's for culture. No, I don't know. Do you want to go for the bandit camp from here, or was that the idea?
Yeah, that's the next stop.
Active view. So, any plans on how to approach it? Is it to give it a good hello, hello, or do you want to quickly crash the party?
No, I think maximum paranoia and getting to close enough to where there's signs that there's been traffic. Maybe look for like simple traps, wires, spikes, holes, falling logs, whatever. Like start doing that like 10 minutes before we get to sort of the area where it's supposed to be in.
So traps and confusing the sort of trails and stuff.
Yeah.
So Vamp, you can roll for your own study. You, if you want to pick one new, or if you want to continue.
Sorry. To study like your school of magic. Do you have to have a teacher for that?
No, you can
Okay.
further the crafts that you have.
I want to do that then.
You want to put point in flesh crafting or necromancy.
Necromancy.
Then you just make a new page, I think, or new section. You don't roll on. Yeah, because what you do is you basically do.
Oh, should I have?
Yeah, you just would have done
Okay. Sorry, hold on. So then I need to re-roll, right? So it's the correct one.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Sorry about that.
No. There's no need. I'd write it up that I have to look at it. We are talking about 100, not 200. So we'll see why it says 200, but it's 100.
So would that be 6 points plus my current, or is it just the 10 of 200?
You rolled a 6 and total is 10 because you have a study of 4, so it adds the 4
That's right.
plus 6.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My brain.
No.
There we go. Okay.
So Ebonheart is basically giving the idea of disturbing the trails and make a little bit more confusing of with traps in the ground and stuff like that.
That sounds wonderful. Yes. Is this the area around the cabin we're staying at, or
More
is
towards
this
the camp.
Okay, towards the camp? That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Or that was how I presumed it, really.
Yeah, so like when we're approaching like within 10 minutes of where the camp is supposed to be, that's when I start going, okay, is there something hidden here? Is this gonna kill us? You know, pitfalls, spikes, whatever, all the fun stuff.
Yeah. And you see that the horse that you have originally has been fairly well, as it's kind of not tied to a specific point. More so just had the lead wrapped around so it could easily just walk away. It has found patches to feed off and have been in a better state than the other horse. But through the night, the other horse needs a recouping, maybe like a couple of days. I don't know really how much it needs.
We could probably just leave it here at the cabin, let it rest up, take the other horse like we've been doing,
Mm.
or I can turn into something and travel alongside the horse.
Yeah, it's up to you
That's
guys.
a good
to-
question.
Yeah.
If I change form, is the zombies that I made still there? Like, is their connection still intact?
They're still there for the remainder of time.
Okay.
So you could
I just
kind of
was-
command them to do something.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if by changing form, if that would impair it somehow or impair control of them.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
Okay. Thank you. Well, in that case, I could take form of a wolf or a bird or bear or something and kind of travel along here as well. See if I can help sniff out any tracks or traps and stuff. I don't know if that would help any.
yeah. What is the approach between you two? What is the idea?
I don't see how it could hurt. Maybe you can find something that just can no longer be fun because of the smell. So yeah, I guess we are like leaving the horse, I guess, with the corpse, like a little behind, and maybe we like go ahead a little bit and search around, look see if there's anything bad. Maybe get the horse, then we move a little bit more. Scout, get the horse, move a little more. Because we still have, you know, the card of you wrestling the leader and I don't know, waving with him. Maybe distracting a few. I mean, no reason not to at least play the card.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a good idea for drawing them out into more manageable numbers. Do I need to do a roll for the ritual Skagith, or can we just...
No, there is no role.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. So then Yeah, so he should be good. Yeah, then I guess I will go ahead and see, where did it go? I don't know if I need to roll for this or not. But yeah, I'll go ahead, take the form of, I guess, a wolf, and see if I can sniff out any additional trails or traps and stuff that we don't immediately spot.
All right, yeah. As so, you can knock. I think that if you click it, it should say that this will cost you an EP, right?
Yeah, I did. Why did it not? Huh. That's odd. I just did it again. Is it showing?
Are you using EP though? So I would say that
I clicked it. It says will cost 1 EP. I hit OK, and then
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah. Now you see
But I
it
know I
kind of.
worked it before.
Yeah. Now it's being added though, so I'll put 1 in EP use. So let's say it's a 1 use. So you transform into a wolf. Any specific styled or color, or how do you envision it?
Uh, I guess I would just kind of go for a regular gray wolf that you would expect to see in this kind of area. I mean, this isn't really a wintry area, so I wouldn't think Arctic wolf. So yeah, I guess I just go for your kind of common timber wolf.
Yeah. And with that being said, you are scouting for tracks and stuff like that.
Yes, I want to see if I see any tracks, any traps. Like maybe I'd be able to smell out whatever materials that they've used, maybe, or old blood if they've caught something in them before. Things that we would miss on first glance. Would I?
Yeah.
Do I need to do like a sense check or something?
No, I would say that it's fairly simple for you to kind of sniff out, and being so, the camp is pushed against like a larger, not like hills and mountains, like rock going up, so they can't be um, attacked from behind or anything. And they have a little bit of palisade around it, and it's fairly well lit. On one like constructed like rock formation sits a overwatch tower for the entrance. A small creek of water kind of runs through it a little bit. And you see that there is at least 4 or 5 bigger normal tents and 1 bigger tent.
Do we see any obvious people in the like guard tower or keeping guard?
Oh yeah, one person is standing guard in the tower, looking out, not making too much of a like moving around or have any sort of specifics.
What time of day is it now? Is it dark or?
At this point, it's probably just morning, early or so, and you're just scouting roughly. You could definitely just wait out the night if you want to.
I just was curious if anybody else would really be up at this time. Do we see like a campfire or anything going?
No, it is probably a lot of people sleeping at this point. There isn't much going on at all in the camp. So you want
I
to
guess.
move through a specific time, or do you want to? Yeah, where do you want to go?
Um, I will go back to the body, to the zombie, hoping Ebonheart is there so we can talk. And change back into human.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ebonheart is there, I would mention since it's just the one guy in the guard tower, maybe there's a way we could sneak up behind him and just take him out. Or, I mean, we can still just do the zombie thing if that's what we prefer. Whichever one.
What time of day is it?
Morning.
Morning. Early morning. So it looks like the rest of the group is sleeping in tents.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there's a way maybe you'd be able to sneak up behind the tower dude and just off him really quick, or if we should try and get the zombie to lure him out.
I'm thinking the guard is probably going to alert everyone else that the leader is back, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was worried about. So
yeah, no, I think I'm going to try and make my way and then take at least that person out quietly.
then maybe after that, if you can take him out quietly enough, maybe then we can just slice through some of the tents and try and kill some of the people in their sleep if they stay asleep. Fingers crossed, that is.
Yeah, yeah, I think trying to take them out quietly is probably the better. No, yeah. I will look for a discreet way inside.
Like, is it an actual tower, or is this like kind of a makeshift one with only a ladder leading up to the guard area?
Imagine a fairly tall stone pillar, and on top of it, a three wooden watchtower has been constructed on top of it.
Because, like, for some reason, what I'm kind of envisioning is like the ones you would see in like Horizon Zero Dawn or Skyrim, where most of them are just kind of makeshift out of logs.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
just like the one little ladder that leads up to it, and that. Or I don't know if there's like an actual staircase or not. Sorry.
I'm trying to import it, but it's not giving me a time of day. But yeah, I mean, it's not like a structured house. It's more like a tower or like a platform. So easily being a key here or simple. So up to you how you want to like. Yeah, I would say that you definitely have a stone pillar with a like wooden constructed tower on it. It's not a house or anything.
Okay.
So definitely more a platform, if anything.
Can I find a little sneaky way to get inside?
Yeah, definitely. I tried to basically import it, but I guess that's not an option. So make a stealth check
Mm-hmm.
and make it with like an ease roll. So definitely an easy way to kind of go around it. The guard himself is not expecting anything, probably have been quiet for quite a while. Nothing has been disturbing the peace by any means. And as so, when approaching the palisade, you can quickly go around um, the structure of itself, and making a fairly easy viewable scene. You do see that there is plentiful of hide tents, and there are a couple of them in the middle and a bigger one at the very end. And a small creek of water, like a small stream that kind of divides it a little bit in the middle.
Right. Well, prior one is taking this man out so he can't warn anyone else.
So approaching up on his little platform and trying to do the stab, which is here, make a weapon roll of choice. I guess you're gonna use the dagger.
Yes.
Will he get a bonus to it?
Bonus to his dagger? No, not really.
Or oh, I didn't know if he was coming from behind or not. Sorry.
So you determine where you want to hit him with 5 damage.
Yeah, I absolutely want to try and go right across the neck. So even if he doesn't die, he can't scream.
Yeah. So you take a hold and you just slit the throat with 5 damage, definitely. and you move it up so that he will be in a laying there, or do you want to drag him down?
No more sound. Gonna leave him. Gonna go right down and look and see if I can just get a quick head count.
You're guessing by the tents and the size. You're looking at, let's see, there are 5 normal tents and a big tent. And if it's like a couple of people in each of the tents, let's say 2 to 3, we're looking at slightly over 10. And the major bigger tent is just for the chieftain or the ruler of the bandit group. So maybe around 15 in total.
Ah, so they are all closed.
Yeah, no one is out and walking. It's that early.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go one by one and try and see if I can peek in through a crack, because they're not buildings. It's just like
it's open in the back and the front, like a hide that has been stretched over the sticks, and yeah, they are sleeping inside. Most of them is like half geared, like not with their pants, and some without the shirts, and none of them seems to really have their weapons in their belts. It's just laying by their side, so they're not really battle ready. And there is no like anyone guarding or watching the area itself.
Okay, I'm just peeking into each one. I just want a head count.
Let's say 10 plus a 6. 12. And then you have the leader chieftain that is sleeping in the big tent by himself.
Oh, so we didn't.
Don't actually.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Shit.
we took care of one of the underboss, I guess.
Yeah,
The
like a
lieutenant.
right hand.
Shoot.
Is he alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna be a little speedy here. I'm gonna just try and as quick as I can just exfil. Gonna give you a quick rundown of the numbers. Unarmored. What do you want to do? Well, I guess, how do you want to kill these people? Because I think we need to take them out, all of them. We burn them? Do we?
I think that we should get a makeshift torch and set fire to the little tents and go for the leader first. If that makes sense. Like, actually, like, I don't know if you would want to go in for the leader while I set the tents on fire. I mean, I'm assuming it would take them a few minutes for the fire to like get big enough for the tent to actually like collapse and fall on the people. I'm not sure. I mean, we could. I I really do think that setting the tents on fire would probably be the easiest way to knock down the numbers some.
Okay.
Especially if they're half clothed, like you think, like you've said.
Did I see any ready torches when moving around the camp?
Or firewood. I mean, if we have to, we can just rip some clothing off of the zombie, wrap
Yeah.
it around a stick, and
There is no like torches, but definitely firewood. I would say that there are torches, but not lit, as they don't need it.
But they are good to go.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
How many?
So that's the idea, or
Just wondering how many.
I mean, there are torches for days.
Okay, so there's more than enough.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. How about this? Just you light enough torches, one for each tent. You just walk around, light each tent, just leave the torch so it keeps burning.
yeah, I'll just put the torch, like I light the tent, and I'll put the torch right in front of the doorway of each tent.
While you do that, same time I'm going in and I'm gonna try and just neck the leader. Hopefully we can take out everyone in one fell swoop.
Fingers crossed. Sounds like a good plan, I think.
So that's the way to do it. You proceed that way.
Oh,
Hmm?
I have an oil flask. How much more effective could the torches become if we poured a little something on them?
I
Much
do also have
more.
one as well.
Yeah.
So would I be able to divide the oil between the various tents? Just like splash some on the top?
Oh yeah. I mean, it would definitely help a lot to actually have the extra oil. I mean, it will probably just catch fire and then dripple fire. I mean, a tent needs a lot more from the very bottom, which would be their bodies and whatever they have. It would burn really quickly. So it's probably gonna help quite a bit if you use the oil.
Yeah. So what I'll do is, so I also have a flask of oil. So I guess in total I have 2 flasks. I'll take some of each flask and like sprinkle it along the door, like the flap to each tent. I will light that, and then I'm gonna drop the torch right at the base of the flap of the tent, so that if they somehow do get out, they still have to run through that fire, with the hopes that it's going to cause the tent to like collapse on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, you start your evil, sinister plan. Beth, you need to roll a stealth roll then.
We're doing good work. We're killing bandits.
Yeah.
This isn't evil.
I mean, killing people is always evil.
It's doing something bad for a good reason.
Whatever
Okay, where's the
makes you
star?
sleep at night.
The way to hell
Uh,
paved is stuff and things. Yeah, all that.
where is? I don't
Um,
have stealth.
if you don't have stealth,
Athletics
um,
or survival?
survival.
Easy or hard?
I would say easy.
I swear to God, if this is the first time I fail one of these, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Yeah, partial. Um, Meaning that as you guys collaboratively start this thing up, in which direction do you want to do it? You want to have the henchmen, their tent being on fire.
Well, yeah, so like he's going for the head honcho and I'm the one doing the tents.
Right.
So I'll be heading towards him is what I'm thinking.
And what do Ebonheart want to do? Do you want to wait for Beth to be done with her thing before you go in, or do you want to go in as soon as she starts?
No, this is synchronized. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting at the entrance, and right when she like starts pouring the oil, or when she lights the first one, I'm going in and
In that case, I would say that Beth, you have the choice to either one of the people that you're starting the fire with are getting out, or the bandit leader is waking up, as it's a partial success. Where do you want to go with it?
Is this purely a my choice?
Yeah.
um I trust Rethix to kill this leader guy more than I trust my ability to kill this lady before everybody else awakens, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, Rethix. I just think you have a better chance, and this person is going to alert the whole camp. Meanwhile, I think, yeah.
So the scene is that you start to pour it out, and maybe make a one of the lines that holds up the whole tents breaks, and that in the same sort of theme will be when Ebonheart goes in, seeing that the chieftain already is standing up, kind of looking at Ebonheart and understanding that this is going to be the showdown and the determining fate of his survival or not. And I guess that's also where we will pick it up the next.
No! Why do you always do Clippies?
Determining the fate of it all.
Also, I'm sorry. I hope that's okay, Rethix. I just, like I said, I seriously, I think we have a better chance with you going against him than me killing this person before he alerts everybody.
I think I can. I think I can probably take him. And that's assuming he hasn't slept in his armor and he held onto his weapon while sleeping.
He's drinking all the strength potions, extra potion, defense potion.
No, it's Skyrim with the menu. We're just going glug 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 glug. Then we're fighting.
The Witcher, like coating the sword, licking a potion, injecting himself with special And you're like, okay, dude, okay, I'm closing it. Yeah, sure, whatever. We lost this fight. I'm out.
Yeah, we're really the NPCs here.
Yeah. Some player just spawned in. Been like level 100 from start. Paid the content. Pay to win. All right, guys. Vamp, did you enjoy this one?
I always enjoy them. But yes, this one was a blast. I am super excited to see how everything goes down next week.
Mm-hmm. The Serpent and the Fog.
Yes. Yeah, I'm curious to see if that's going to pop up again later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how everything unfolds.
And for you, Redix, you got a good game.
Yes.
Expected.
I don't really know what I expected. Talking with a snake god, high as a kite, but I mean, you know, what happened happened.
I kind of expected some more sounds.
S sounds.
But
Talking.
I feel like we had some solid plans this time around, and that we really have a good chance with things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like usually when I'm in a game, I don't feel like we actually have a very good plan of attack. So it's nice for once to
you have
feel
to
pretty
pick up
sure
the
about
pieces
things.
at the end, trying to fix whatever you started.
Yeah, it seems like for some reason there'll always be something weird that goes completely wrong because somebody didn't do something right. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case in this one and that I didn't choose wrong. But at the same time, I still feel like it's a pretty good plan.
Yeah.
And I like that we actually agreed on it because, again, there's always fighting about plans.
Yeah, I mean, as is at the moment, it's probably going fairly smooth. We'll see next time if it's gonna be a one party member less or so. I don't know.
I hope not. I hope you chose some regeneration things, Rethix, just in case.
I did not.
Oh, I thought for sure you probably had.
Reddick's character is pretty damn solid in combat, especially one on one. If there is multiple enemies, it's good, but one on one is damn good. So the odds are good. I gonna tweak the character though. I'm gonna make it. All of a sudden, you see the world tier has changed when you log in next week.
Suddenly, he's wearing like ebony armor.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't trust his own men.
What is the armor and the old gods of people in Skyrim?
The Dragon Priest?
No, the
Oh, no, the Daedric?
yeah. So he has a full Daedric
Yeah.
armor. They're like,
A
oh
wap
shit!
attack and he just starts chowing down on a big thing of cheese once Rethix gets his health low.
A full wheel of cheese.
Yes, a full wheel of cheese. The Wabbajack is turning people into random animals, rabbits, and yeah.
So that will be the episode for the next time, the wheel of cheese.
Heck yeah.
But I will cut the stream here and I'll catch anyone else next time. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And have a good one. Bye.